Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here, or you can call me Business Flakes because, well, we're coming up on September, and September usually means, well, NBA 2K25, or 24, 23, 22, 21, 28, 19, 18, 17, 16. All kind of been the same over the years. You got preseason rolling around, man. You're just really getting into the nitty gritty of the next NBA season. I'm so excited. We got Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway in Detroit. Look at where we were last year, man. Okay, you gotta look at it relatively. Okay, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, I don't care. Okay, I don't care that I get hyped about Tobias Harris. Okay, I remember y'all used to get hyped about damn Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. That was a bad team. Antoine Walker was this little shit. If you know, you know. Okay. We all have different points of success in where we're at in life, right, man? So for today's video, with all these changes or lack of Lakers, you got Bronny 68 overall. We got the win-loss predictions for every NBA team following the complete 2024-2025 schedule release. We're gonna make this fun. Well, the most that I can make things fun. Well, we're gonna do like an over and under. We're gonna look at Bleacher Report's predictions, and we're gonna think if it's just perfect, or there's gonna be more wins or less wins. I don't think that's how betting works. I don't think you get to say that's good, do you? I don't really sports bet, man. But let's get going on this, man. Let's get going on this. Starting off with the Atlanta Hawks at 38-44. So last season they were sitting at a record of 36-46. So we get plus 2 wins in the department right here, man. Um, you know, it does seem about right, maybe. And the reason I say that is because, like, Dyson Daniels, I think, has really good potential to be a role player to DeJounte Murray, which isn't a bad thing in this case. You also have Jalen Johnson, who might be my favorite most improved player, if I'm being honest. You also got the number 1 pick, Zachary Ricochet, who, I mean, my Nicholas Batum comparison still is on point, which isn't a bad thing either. Maybe not for the first pick, but, I mean, Stars kind of, there's some more pressure on him, man. So you lose to DeJounte, but you get some guys that are going to really improve the team. But still, it's going to be a work in progress. 38-44. See, I don't get this over under 35. Why does it say this then? So I'm going to go based off of this one right here. 38-44. I'm going to say under. There's going to be some growth, going on. Eastern Conference pretty tough. So I think that 36-37 mark will probably be repeated. So, like under, but not by a lot. Okay. We got Boston Celtics 56-26 last year, being 64-18. And I'm going to say over. I'm going to give the champions the benefit of the doubt. I don't think they're going to necessarily hit that 60 win mark again. And the only reason I say that is, well, I don't know, man. Jason Tatum is going to be on a mission because he feels disrespected. Whew. Because it's like normally the season after a championship, it's just hard to get everybody going. But man, I feel like Tatum, he's hungry, man. I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over 56. Yeah, I like that, man. I'm gonna say right about that 58 win mark, 58, 59, but very well could go over 60 again. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm gonna say over what's on here. We have the Brooklyn Nets 19-63. Last season they were 32-50. Obviously lost quite a bit pieces. So that would have them worse than what the Pistons and Wizards were last season. Do I think this team is better than what those teams did? I don't. There's not really a lot here for me to go off of, man. Like Cam Thomas, I mean, he's going to get his shots. Like Cam Thomas is going to put his numbers up. Nick Claxton is this era's, I would maybe say DeAndre Jordan, which isn't a bad thing either. But also, is Cam Thomas and DeAndre Jordan in his prime going to win you a lot of games? They have a lot of picks. They gave up a lot to get it. I don't see them getting that 19 win mark. I think they're going to be a very bad team. And they're going to be running for Cooper, which ain't a bad thing. So I'm going to say under 19, man. I'm going to say under. Charlotte Hornets 28-54 last season, 21-61. So this is assuming a healthy LaMelo Ball, I assume. Who'd they draft again too? Yeah, Mark Williams I like a lot. Brandon Miller very well could break out even more, So is a better Brandon Miller, a better Mark Williams, and a healthy LaMelo Ball only good for 29 wins? Or I'm sorry, over 7 additional wins from last season. I think they're better than that, man. I'm going to say over. I could see this being like a 32-win team. 32, 33 wins. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Chicago Bulls, 30 and 52. Last year, they were 39 43. They don't have DeMar DeRozan anymore. Josh Giddey, the basketball, as a basketball player, he's solid. I think him going to this Bulls team and it being his team at that point guard spot, I think it's going to be good for him, man. I think he's going to average, a near triple-double. I don't see any reason why he couldn't. I don't think he's going to be quite a triple-double. I can see him putting up like 15 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds per game, something like that. If he has players to pass to, obviously. Zach LaVine's still around. Kobe White was really solid last year. 30 wins, though. I'm going to say probably under that. I see them being maybe a mid to high 20 win team. They just, Zach LaVine's not going to be the guy that leads them to the promised lands unless he just goes off. He would have to go off, man. But I see them in the run for Cooper also. Some of the other, don't think some dude named Bailey, I think also was out there too. But yeah, I don't think I think the Bulls would rather tank a few games and go for Cooper than be 30 and 52. That's my guess there. Cleveland Cavaliers, 49 and 33. Who did they get for the new coach? Forgot, man. They kind of decided to run it back this year, didn't they? Yeah, Kenny Atkinson, a little more creative and substitution staggering. Defense problems that come from starting 2 small guards. And the offensive ones from starting 2 centers could be mitigated. I suppose to an extent, but it's positionless basketball. I think Mobley and Jarrett are fine as a 4 and 5. It's not how it's ran anymore, but it's still a good front court. I think once again it's going to come down to Darius Garland bouncing back after last year's injury-riddled season. I think he will. And obviously the small forward position. What's going to be done there, the bench playing good. But I'm not worried about, Darius and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt together. I think it's going to be fine, man. 49-33, 48-34 last year. Darius Garland is an all-star. He had one bad year. I'm not ready to hate on him for it, man. I think they're going to be over that, especially with the new coach. I've heard a lot of bad things about JB on this Cleveland team, so I'm really hopeful for my Pistons season. But yeah, man, I'm going to say I can see them being like 51. Okay, 47.5. Okay, in this case, I'm going to go over the 47.5. Let's go base off that one. That's fun. Dallas Mavericks, 51 and 31. Got to the finals last year. Switched some things up. Love what Derek Lively brings to the team, especially going into year 2. You got Clay. Yeah, I forgot about Clay. And then 2 really good 3-and-D guys. I'm going to say over, I think, man. This team is going to be dangerous. If defensively things come together. I still don't know if I'm sold with Clay at the 3 spot with Kyrie and Luka in the backcourt. That defensively doesn't do a lot for me. If that doesn't work and Clay can be some, Vinnie Johnson microwave off the bench and play 30 minutes off the bench and do his Klay Thompson thing, it could be better. But it's going to come down to that defense. So I'm hoping over 50 because I like the new additions. They are a better team on paper than they were last year. We just got to see if it works. Denver Nuggets, 55 and 27. Last year they were 57 and 25. So it's over under 51.5. So this must be like Vegas odds or something like that. I think they're going to be over that 51 mark. I don't know if it's quite going to be 55 wins. I think 52, 53 wins sounds about right. I know I'm kind of nitpicking here, but you got to when it comes to just a few games in a very, very just deep NBA, right? You got to nitpick. You got the Detroit Pistons. Last year, 14 wins. This year, they got them at 23 and 59. Do I think my Pistons are 9 games better than last year? I mean, last year they were really bad. They were really, 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 really bad. Really bad. And the roster is way, 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 way different. So it's hard for me to go off of last year. So 23 wins this year with this roster. Cade, obviously, man, he could be most improved player. Don't tell me he couldn't. I've been working on that jump shot with the new shooting coach. Ron Holland having a solid rookie season. Tobias, Fontecchio. Well, yeah, a lot of shooting there, right, man? Malik Beasley, I loved that pickup, bro. I could see them grazing 28, 29, and perhaps maybe even 30. Like 30 to 32 wins would be like yeah, good job, Detroit. Like we are heading in the right direction. Realistically, I think it's higher than 23. I think it's kind of the high 20s. So I'm going to give them the over on this, man. Don't discredit, veteran improvement. Don't discredit change of locker room culture with Monte being gone, man. Like there's some changes that happened, so we can't go based off of last year exactly. What's Sarah here? So yes, 23 wins sounds like a pretty low total, but it's a 9-win jump. It's nothing to sneeze at, and Detroit has the developing talent to pull that off. See, but you're basing it off a lineup that had Killian Hayes. You know what I'm saying? The dude couldn't even make the French Olympic team. So it's hard for me to go based off last season, man. It really is. Golden State Warriors 46 and 36. Ooh, this is. That's what the record last year was, 46 and 36. So over under 43.5. I think they hit that 46 win mark again. They didn't really do anything except lose Klay Thompson, right? I mean, yeah, D'Anthony Melton, I like him defense. Oh yeah, Buddy Hield. Yeah, Buddy Hield could be interesting this year, actually, man. Like, I don't have a doubt in my mind from an offensive standpoint. Buddy Hield could go in and replace what Klay did for a year. I have no doubt in my mind. Buddy Hield is that good at shooting, like he can do that, man. He can kind of be a splash younger bro or something like that, You got Brandon Potter. They're really, really big on there for good reason. Solid player. Kuminga, you probably gotta say Kuminga starts, right? Because that's the thing. It's like Kuminga and Draymond, they kind of like clash from a lineup standpoint. 43.5, that seems about right. I don't think they hit that 46, but I will go over the 43. I'm going to say maybe around 44 or 45 wins, assuming everybody stays healthy, man. But I think they're still due for a big splash. I think something else is going to happen, right? Houston Rockets 44 and 38. Last year 41 and 41. So that's a +3 win. I'm going to go over on that. And the reason I say that is, Reed Shepherd very well could be Rookie of the Year. So you add that to the mix. You add to the mix, the factor that Alpi missed like the second half of the season, and he was playing all-star caliber basketball before. Jalen Green, when Alpi was playing good, Jalen Green wasn't, but after the All-Star break, he was playing really well. So if it all mixes together, you got to think it's better than 3 wins, man. Houston Rockets last season, I said could make the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad take at the time. But I'm pretty high on their roster, man. I'm a jealous Pistons fan. I love what you guys got going on over there. Like, it just all works, I think they're going to be over. I could see them being a 46-win team, and I could see the Houston Rockets kind of being the breakout team of the Western Conference. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, we got the Indiana Pacers 46 and 36. So that 47 and 35 last year. Who they end up losing? Marginal improvements from players like Obi, Benedict Mathurin. Indiana could make this prediction look silly. I mean, I don't think 46 wins is like a bad thing. Once again, it's a very deep conference, right, man? I do like Pascal, being with the team for a full season. That's definitely going to help from day one. Just, being on chemistry and whatnot. And Tyree's definitely, being one of them breakout players. Do I think they're better than 47 wins, though, man? They were 47 last year. Yeah, I do. I'm looking at the conferences over here, and the reason I say that is that, they're going to be better than, way better than what the Hawks were last year, the Bulls, the Heat. So, they are going to pile up some wins. I'm actually kind of looking at it, man. The East is actually a bit top-heavy. It's a bit top-heavy, man. I think they're going to pile on some W's. I think they're over it, man. I can see them being about a 50-win team. LA Clippers, 42 and 40. Last year, they were 51 and 31. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be good, man. Like, losing Paul George, that's a big thing. Where'd Westbrook go? Is he still on the team? No mention of Westbrook. I don't remember if he stayed. I think he stayed, didn't he? Just goes to show Westbrook. It's just not the factor he once was, man. So, okay. So, we got James Harden. Mm. I don't know, man, because like more shots for James Harden. If he could, like, do I think he still has capabilities of being that guy? I think he could for a season. And you got Kawhi, if he can be healthy, played 68 games last year. It's kind of, it feels disrespectful to give it the under, you know? Like, yes, Paul George is great. Paul George is great, great. But they still got some things going on there, man. I'm going to say over. A hesitant, well, no, that's not even hesitant. I don't think they're going to be a 30-win team. They're going to be over the 40.5 for sure. LA Clippers 44 and 38. 43.5. They didn't really do much. They added on Dalton Connect, which, you know, very well could be a. I don't think he's gonna be Rookie of the Year. I think he's gonna be good for him. He's gonna give them some offense. I don't think he necessarily negates the fact that they didn't do anything else in the offseason. That makes me nervous. I hate to say it, because I know Laker fans don't want to hear this, but this Lakers team is currently built around the end of LeBron's saga. You know, they're really not putting into their mind like what they should be doing going forward, you know? And man, what was it last year? 47 wins? Yeah, 47 wins last year. So over under 43.5, man. Aging LeBron, which by default means that, you know, LeBron still got it, right? But there's going to be days he doesn't. And that means AD's going to have to take on more. And AD is a very injury-prone player. If he goes down with injury, they are screwed. I don't think the Lakers are going to be very good this year, man. I think it's going to be very similar to the Washington Wizard Michael Jordan season. I don't remember. I think maybe the first or second. I think that first year they were pretty good. I don't remember. There was 2 seasons with him on that team, right? And then Bronny's going to probably be getting some PT. And is he ready for, you know, the Hollywood lights? I just don't. I don't see this. I see the Bronny LeBron storyline is very cool, but I see it as a distraction. You know, that is like there's a lot of teams out there that are very good that don't have those type of distractions. So I just don't. I don't know if I necessarily see it, man. I don't. I think it's going to be under. I don't think it's going to be a good season for LA, man. Memphis Grizzlies 49-33. Last year 27-55. So obviously the big caveat here is that they have Ja Morant back and Luke Kennard on the 1-year deal. Man, got disrespected with the payday, but you know he just had a new baby and everything, so he doesn't want to probably, you know, move right now with having a baby. So it'll be next year he goes back to Detroit. But yeah, Ja Morant, assuming he stays out of trouble. Over 47 wins. Yeah. I could see it. Is Zach Edey, is he going to be the starting center, though? Because that does make me a little nervous. Is he going to be the starter? It's just, I guess, the mobility with him is still a factor with him, man. So I'm not quite sure about that. But, I mean, Ja Morant is just that good by himself. So, and Desmond Bane, obviously, is the Chris Middleton of the Western Conference. That's the best way I could put it. I could see them getting there. Miami Heat 45-37. Last year they were 46-36. So this is one team that I unfortunately think is going to fall off pretty heavily next season. I just don't really have. I don't have a lot of good things to say that aren't said previous seasons. Like Bam and Jimmy are good, you know, but Jimmy is getting older, and Bam kind of is who he is. I mean, he's shooting threes and whatnot. It's just really hard. It's like you got to look at some teams going up and some teams going down, and I think this team is trending towards down. Now, Jacquez, great. Tyler Hero, you know, does his thing. Scary Terry. So you got some offense there. Who plays the 4? Is Jovic going to be playing the 4 next year? I just see some missing. I see some missing issues they did not. I see some things they did not address that other teams did. So I am going to give them the under, man. But yeah, okay. Milwaukee Bucks 51-31 last year. 49-33. So are they going to be over a 50-win team? and Middleton, I think, are going to be fine. Brook Lopez, bro, like, the dude is a fossil, man. Gary Trent was a steal. DeLon Wright, you know, solid two-way player. I think Gary Trent was a very, very underrated pickup, man. And also got Doc Rivers as coach. But also, I think Damian's going to have a really solid season. I think him and Giannis just, you know, are going to be on the same page after this offseason and everything. And I think Damian feels like he's starting to get disrespected. So I think he kind of wants to show people what up. Brook Lopez is their starting center again, though. I feel like, the way he plays complements Giannis very well. Boy, he is old, bro. He's old, man. He's old. He's old. T-Wolves 50 and 32. 56 and 26 last year. I'm going to give him the over on that, man. There ain't no reason behind it. Anthony Edwards is just really coming into his own as a top 5 player in the NBA. Dude is fantastic. Oh, they got my dude Dillingham too, man. Yeah, Dillingham, I think, is going to be a really solid rookie. Still got Mike Conley there. Jaden McDaniels, 6'10", two-way player. I don't see why they would go down in wins. I really don't. I think they're going to be over, man. I think they're going to be kind of closer to that 60-win mark, barring injury. Okay, Pelicans, 46 and 36. Last year, they were non-existent. 49-33. I don't know if I quite like what this team's got going on. They don't really have a center. If they can move, yeah, it says right there in the first paragraph, they can move Ingram for a starting center, sure. But, okay, what center is going to be available that is as good as what Ingram does for this team, So it's like, yeah, you can get a starting center, but you're going to lose an all-star caliber player because of it. Unless there's a, I can't think who. Like what trade's going on in that case that would make sense for another team. I mean, if the Heat want to go, if the Heat rebuild, it's like, yeah, you don't trade Bam for Ingram, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, I know there's issues with Ingram and just kind of like his plans of being part of the future of that franchise. But man, like a starting center, you could have taken care of that in free agency, man. You could have, It's like you got some trade pieces, but we're going based off of what's there. You don't got a center. You need a center in the NBA, especially in the conference where Jokic exists, So I'm going to give him the under, man. Obviously a lot of it comes down to about Zion, his health, if he's in shape. I'm going to go with the under, man. Oh, they also got the DeJounte Murray. I mean, okay, so Murray, CJ. Probably Trey Murphy at the 3. Herb at the 4 and Zion at the 5. I guess that works, but is Zion going to want to play center, get beat up, and down low every single game like that, man? I don't see it. They're going to have to... Well, I didn't even put Ingram into that, so... I know his positional is basketball. Y'all taking this shit too far, though, bro. That's the same. I'm going to go the under. New York Knicks, 49-33. Last year, they were 50 and 32, so they're going to be over-under at 53.5. Okay, so 50 wins last year. They get Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges, I loved him on the Phoenix Suns. I liked him on the Brooklyn Nets. I love him on the Knicks. If he knows how to play that role correctly. You got to go back to the, not quite a role player, but also you're not going to be taking the most shots type of guy, Be Sean Marion. Be Sean Marion, man. And I will give you the over. I really like this Knicks team, and I think they're going to be hungry, man. Yeah, Julius Randle back too definitely helps. OKC Thunder 55 and 27, 57 last year, so they're saying same over under. Are they going to match or do better than last year? Well, Paul George is now in the Eastern Conference, so that's a lot of additional wins right there off the bat. I'm looking, the Lakers I don't think are going to be very good, as I said. Pelicans, I mean, what are they going to put on Chet, You stretch out Zion, you get Chet, essentially. They replaced Giddey with Caruso, which Caruso was a better fit for what this team needs. I don't see any reason to give him the under here. I'm going to give him the over. I'm going to give him the over. I feel like I've given every team the over, man. I'm just really optimistic, okay? Orlando Magic, 48 and 34. I really feel like I gave every team the over. So 47-35 last year, man. No, I get the Heat under and the Hawks. Magic, though. What was their big-time changes they did? Yeah, it's like everything about them is just... Oh, KCP was a great pickup, man. He's the new Gary Harris. Franz and Paolo, well, Franz got paid, so it's time to see, like okay, because that when you get that first paycheck, the season after tells a lot about a player. Like, were they there for the money or are they there for the grind, right? If he can continue to improve on himself, then they're solid, right? And what I say they were last year, Orlando Magic last year, 47. So, okay, do I think they're better than 47.5? Yeah, I'm going to give them the barely over, man, because I think they can hit that 48 win mark. Maybe even low 50s. Like, I don't see why. Like, Paolo Banchero, I think he deserves that respect, right? He deserves that respect. 76ers 52 and 30. So last year they were 47 and 35. So Paul George, good for +5. Did they lose anything? Because I'm sorry, I mean, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, that's one of the best 1-2 punches in the NBA. You add one of the best catch and shoot players and Paul George to that, like, it's going to once again come down to them being healthy. But even that, it's like when they're not, if Embiid misses a game, you still have Tyrese and you still have Paul George. If Paul George is out, you got Tyrese and Embiid, man. I got to give them over 52 wins. I think the 76ers might be the first seed in the conference. Very close to the Celtics even. Like 1-2, Sixers, Celtics. Maybe Celtics, Sixers. Flip 1 or 2 games, it don't really matter. Phoenix Suns, 50 and 32. Last year, 49-33. Over-under, 47.5. What'd they do? They add some stability. You definitely can't sleep on stability. Monte and Tyus, definition of just like the perfect point guard, rotation. It really is. Like, it's not overwhelming, but it's solid. Which means Bradley Beal probably got to go to the bench. Which means more shots for Booker and Durant from just good quality point guards getting them good looks. Which means Bradley Beal is coming off the bench. Which means he could win 6th man of the year. I mean, he's used to balling against the stars. He's balling against the second unit, man. It could be good for him. Over. Again. Portland Trailblazers, 15 and 67. Dear God, Chauncey, I'm so sorry, man. Under. You know what, though? What about school? Shaedon Sharpe, DeAndre, Jeremy Grant. To put them at 15 would make them, or below 15, would put them in like the Pistons range last year. So it's like, could a team be as bad as Detroit was last year, 2 years in a row? Can that record be set 2 times, back to back? It's hard to think it can. But it says 21.5 for the over-under. Under that, for sure. For sure not going to hit that 21 mark. Probably 17, 18 wins, is my guess. Sacramento Kings, they got them over under 46.5. Last year, 46 and 36. So is DeMar DeRozan better than 0.5 games added to their win-loss? I think so. Right? You still got Keegan, who was solid. Malik Monk and Fox in the backcourt. I forgot what their backup point guard was, because they had, what's his name, Davion. He got on the Raptors. I have to, DeRozan, just not too long ago, was playing MVP caliber basketball at times, man. I mean, I guess maybe you can look at the spacing with Fox and, a low 3-point use. Well, I don't know. How many threes did Sabonis shoot last year, man? There could be maybe some spacing issues, but I don't think it's going to be that heavy, to be honest, especially when you have, you know, some solid knockdown guys in the lineup. Got to give the over. 33 and 49. They were 22 last year, so whoa. So we saying we going from 22 to 36 by adding CPP? I love Wembanyama, but it's got to be more than that, you know? And I look at what more there is. I mean, they got Devin Vassell as a decent wing. I think he's more than that. It's hard for me to see them going from 22 to 36.5. I mean, Wembanyama already cleaned up last season, right? So it's way too big of a jump. I think Wembanyama continues. I think he's an all-star next year. I just don't see the rest of it leading to that many wins. So I'm gonna go under. Toronto Raptors 26 and 56 last year, 25 and 57, over under 30. Whew. They didn't really do too much this offseason either, did they? It's like you can look at Scotty, RJ, and quickly and be like, okay, that's a solid trio, but what else did they do that warrants, you know, giving them additional wins over some of these other teams that made some big down moves? I like what they got going on with the trio. They got to do something else, though, and they didn't, so I'm going to give them the under. Utah Jazz, 26 and 56. Over under 29.5 last year. I remember last year they had like a really hot start to the season. So 31 and 51. Do I have them around that mark again? I would say that's fair to say. So I'll give them the over and just say, like, yeah, it's going to be right around what they did last year. I don't really see them. Well, you know what? Hot take. Marketing gets traded by the trade deadline. Maybe even Colin Sexton under. They go full on tank. Washington Wizards 20 and 62. They were 15 and 67 last year, man. So over under 121.5, there is no way in hell this is a 20-win team, man. Come on. I would say, come on, 2K. This is an under big time, man. This is not a good team, and Alex Sarr is not going to fix the issues. He's not. Alex Sarr is the type of number one pick that it's like, okay, the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry was injured. Hey, let's go out and draft James Wiseman, right? He'll fit in. He didn't. But Alex Sarr would have. But to go on a team like the Wizards and be like the building block, he's not that type of guy. He's just not, man. But, to each their own. Okay, I feel like I had some unders towards the end there, man. So that's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.